people who knew the justice and Arthur, of course, knowing him so personally, like an uncle. And we really appreciate you sharing this with us. Because your grief is palpable, but your respect and admiration for this man, regardless of what people have said about him, the criticisms, again, you have brought his personality to us so that we can know him better.
What Shaka was saying about like how he's so close with Ginsburg, and before Ginsburg, the person he loved on the court was Justice Brennan. There is no justice more diametrically opposed Justice Scalia than Justice Brennan in every way, shape, or form. And he liked Justice Brennan so much that when Justice Brennan retired, Justice Scalia asked for his chambers, asked for Justice Brennan's chambers. Because that's why when my friends would say, how could you like Scalia? He voted this way on that or that way on this. When you knew him, you forgot about those things. Like, you weren't looking at a guy who had a fifth vote on something. You were looking at a guy who just really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Arthur, give us a moment and just hold on a minute as you collect yourself and Heather as a guest for us.
We'll definitely come back to you, but we also have another personal friend of Judge Scalia.
Yeah, Arthur just wasn't ready for the manuals.
Laura, I
We did
don't know
on
if you
the
heard
side.
Arthur talking there. He said that to the Judge Scalia, it was the core of America that is what counted, that the core of America was the family. Share with us your thoughts on his passing.
I first heard Justice Thomas on the court, but many years before that, I became a family friend of the Scalias and vacation with them and, spent holidays with them. And the first time I met Justice Scalia, he was actually named, he had just been...
They disagree on every important issue, whether it's gay rights, abortion, death penalty, affirmative action, free speech, but they were not disagreeable with each other, and it was a nice lesson for all of Washington.
Yeah.
What about the possible replacements? I mean, Jeffrey, you were speaking about that earlier, just how hard it will be to get a nominee by President Obama through the Senate. What names are we looking at talking about?
I would keep an eye on one name above all, Judge Srinivasan, an Indian American, 48 years old, appointed by President Obama to the D.C. Circuit, which is where Justice Scalia came from, and 4 other justices came from, widely believed to be the second most important court in the country. And very importantly, Judge Srinivasan was confirmed unanimously by the United States Senate just a couple of years ago during President Obama's towards the end of his first term, I believe. And he is someone, if anyone could get through the Senate, he could get through the Senate. But certainly, you are going to see many Republican senators saying this is a seat that should go to the next president, that the next president should go to this seat, and they will do everything in their power to stop a vote. Now, this is the Senate in Republican hands. So Mitch McConnell, who is the majority leader, and Charles Grassley, who is the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, if they want, they can stop any vote from taking place. There will certainly be political heat on the court, on the Senate, to take a vote, but this, I suspect, will dominate the life of the Senate for the next few months, and it will certainly dominate or play a very significant role in the presidential campaign that's unfolding right now.
Let me read you this. When you talk about the political battle that will ensue after this, Jeffrey, the communications director for Senator Mike Lee, a Republican of Utah, he sits, obviously, Senator Lee, on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Here's what that communications director just tweeted. What is less than zero? The chances of Obama successfully appointing a Supreme Court justice to replace Scalia. And then we have Senator Ted Cruz running for president just tweeting, Justice Scalia was an American hero. We owe it to him and the nation for the Senate to ensure that the next president names his replacement. Your thoughts, Jeffrey?
Well, this is something you're going to hear a lot of, and the great significance of the Senate going Republican in the midterm elections in 2014 is that the Senate can be president for another 10 months. That's practically a quarter of his term. If there's no vote on a successor, that will leave the Supreme Court shorthanded for over a year because the new president's not coming in until January. Certainly it would take some time for a new president to nominate and confirm someone. I don't believe there's ever been a vacancy that's lasted for that long without a vote in the Senate. So there will be considerable political heat on the Senate to act on an Obama nominee. Now, they may simply say, forget it, but that's not the whole story.
Jeffrey, but take me back to 1986, or 1968, excuse me, when the Senate GOP ran out the clock on LBJ's nomination on a Portis Chief Justice.
That's right. But remember, the court was not shorthanded during that time. Earl Warren had announced his intention to step down, but he had not actually stepped down. So there were always 9 justices on the court. This is a very different situation, sadly, because Justice Scalia has died. But you will certainly hear Republicans say that there is nothing stopping the court from acting with 8 justices. Most cases are not 5-4. Most cases are resolved with a substantial majority in the court, so it's not they will say it's not an urgent situation, but Democrats will say, I think a lot of people will say, look, we have one president at a time, and he's still the president, he gets to nominate people, and that person deserves a vote. Obviously, a great deal will depend on who the person is that President Obama nominates. But I tell you, it is very, I suspect many people in the White House will find it very tempting to nominate someone like Judge Srinivasan, who already received unanimous approval in the Senate, and their argument will be, how could he be unanimously qualified 3 years ago when you won't even give him the vote now? So that'll be the argument you will hear if Judge Srinivasan is the nominee.
Jeffrey Toobin, stay with me because I've just received a statement from the Supreme Court, from Chief Justice John Roberts of the Supreme Court. I will read it to you now in full. On behalf of the court and retired justices, I am saddened to report that our colleague Justice Antonin Scalia has passed away. He was an extraordinary individual and jurist, admired and feted by his colleagues. His passing is a great loss to the court and the country he so loyally served. We extend our deepest condolences to his wife Maureen and his family. Again, whether you agree with him ideologically or not, this is a man who served this country and the high court for 30 years. Jeffrey, someone who, as you said, was very close friends with Ruth Bader Ginsburg as well as Justice, someone ideologically opposed to him. When you look at his legacy and the summation of his career, what is the wonder that comes to your mind?
Giant. This is a giant of American law. The transformation in constitutional law, the transformation of how judges and ordinary citizens look at the Constitution, you can almost never say there has been someone in American history who had this kind of influence.
Jeffrey, stay with me. I do want to bring in our CNN senior political commentator, David Gergen, who also was advised to 4 former presidents. David Gergen, to you. David Axelrod, the senior political commentator for CNN, and also former advisor to President Obama, calls this a seismic event for the presidential campaign.
I think that's largely true. I've been listening to what Justice had to say and read everything. This is going to thrust the future of the court right into the middle of the campaign. And I have no doubt that even as I don't want to express it morning for this, one man who had such enormous influence but also did serve his country as he saw by his own lights enormously well. I do think this. You're going to hear tonight in this debate the beginnings of the argument about not only should the president wait and let the next president succeed, make the choice, but very, very importantly, Scalia was one of 3 justices who were going into their 80s during the term of the next president. Justice Kennedy and Justice Breyer will also enter their 80s. Of course, Justice Ginsburg is already there. That means that, and enormously important to the future of the country, certainly to the future of the law, the direction of the law. And so it's a choice people make about in their election is going to very much involve not only the economy, not only jobs, not only American security, but who's going to choose the future directions for the highest court in the land.
It absolutely is, and this has already become political. Obviously, the breaking news is the very sad death of a 79-year-old Supreme Court Justice, Antonin Scalia, who served on the High Court for 30 years after his nomination by then President Reagan in 1986. Of course, with his passing, everyone will mourn. They are mourning. I just read the statement from the Chief Justice. But it has become political, David Gergen, as we look at live pictures of the Supreme Court as night falls on our nation's capital. Con Carroll, the communications advisor and director for Senator Mike Lee, a Republican from Utah who sits on the Judiciary Committee, just tweeted this: "What is less than zero the chances of Obama successfully appointing a Supreme Court justice to replace Scalia?" How bitter of a fight does this become, David Gergen?
Well, I'm not sure how bitter it will become this year, because I don't think the president has the votes to move it. Scalia was so important to the conservatives. He was the electrical anchor of conservatism on the court. He was the person who was the most persuasive, I think, but at least four people there who have been the sort of stalwarts of conservatism, if you would. And they had expected to basically live on for years to come. It's going to be a real shock in the conservative community, and they're going to respond by saying, well, we're a very polarized country, we're very divided, and rather than the president putting up someone who is going to, rather than putting up someone who potentially, you can make the argument, Jeff Bass, I think he's right about this, someone who's been confirmed unanimously to this Court of Appeals, saying, why would you object to it? Well, the reason you object to it is for reasons other than why you voted for it on the Court of Appeals, and that is, it's going to really tip the balance of the court. And shouldn't that be decided by a vote of the people rather than by some accident of history? And that, I think a lot of conservatives are going to argue, if the president obviously has time at any event, he shouldn't put up a nomination, he really ought to run a thorough search. And then it's going to take us time to assess all of this. And yes, we're going to miss some months with the court will live on, but for the future direction of the country, of the court, then it's important to let the people speak. Which way that argument will come for the American people. I think there are strong arguments, meritorious arguments on both sides, but it's going to be, I think the Senate's going to be very divided, and as Jeffrey says, the Senate happens to be controlled by Republicans as a result of this election.
So David, if you were advising your fifth president, you've been advising the four former presidents, if you were sitting in the Oval Office this week advising your fifth president, President Obama, would you advise him to nominate or to wait?
I think the president ought to, I think everyone here needs to act with some deliberation and not rush to the case, because American people deserve better than that. This is a time of mourning, but maybe let people let government wait a little bit and make a decision about what to do. I wouldn't be the president to make a decision. We'll have to settle down a little bit and certainly wait a few days. I think I would probably come down on the side of, if we have a really strong candidate who's unanimously confirmed, we should put that candidate forward and then let the Republicans show their stripes and black things. And that will reinforce your argument that they're obstructionists and they really don't, they don't care for tradition, but they really care about the court. They wouldn't let it go for a year or so with only 8 members. That, I think that's a political step.